How's it going out there? Welcome from H2TechVideos. Today I'm going to be going over the pros and cons, worth it or waste, for the Samsung Chromebook. The one that retails for $249. I'm sure you, if you've been online, you've seen a lot of ads run where they've advertised Chromebook for $249 or $199. So a lot of people are curious. They're seeing, what is, considered a laptop for dirt cheap, and I was curious to see, was it really worth it? Because that's so cheap for a computer. So, what are the upsides, what are the downsides? And so I kind of wanted to bring that to you guys today. So I played with this for over 30 days and really tried to give it a really fair test run. And even like one day I tried to use it strictly as my computer and not use my own computer to see what does it lack, and could it really hold as a full computer if someone was to purchase one or get rid of an old computer or upgrade, whatever. So let's jump right into it. So first I want to kind of go over the specs, or actually let's take a walkthrough of just the hardware itself. So let me close it up here. We can just kind of see what the outer shell looks like. The back are where most of the ports are. Starting from left to right, we do have a micro SD card slot right here, so you can expand the storage. This is only a 16 gig model, obviously you probably want to kick that up and have some expandable memory. We have USB 3.0, USB 2.0, and HDMI output, which is right here. And this is your port for charging. Okay. Flip to the right, we now have an SD card slot right here, so you can plug in your camera memory card and you'll be able to upload your pictures right to it. And that's it for that. This is the back. Okay, just little grips here to keep it in place. And let's open it up. We do have our webcam on the top here, so you can do some like video chatting. And a very unique keyboard. Kind of some different options. You actually do not have function keys. You do have a whole different lineup of keys at the top here. We have forward and back for the web browsing, or refresh, and screen brightness, volume, and you have maximize and a button to let you switch between different windows, and our power button, which is right here. So that's just kind of a look at just the basic hardware itself. Now to go over the specs, the processor is a Samsung Exynos 5 dual processor, which is actually a processor used more so in their mobile devices, which is smartphones and tablets. So they have integrated that technology into their Chromebook. 2 gigs of DDR3 memory for some basic multitasking there. Does not have an optical drive, so you cannot you can't plug in CDs or DVDs, and it's actually not compatible with the external CD or DVD drive. So that's just a little bit of a preview. That's kind of one of the cons, that you can't really run CDs on it or DVDs, and those drives will not work on it. So just gotta keep that in mind. It does have an 11.6 LED high definition display with a matte finish. So it's pretty nice. In terms of browsing, websites show well. If you're on YouTube, you can watch videos that are in 720p HD. Again, 16 gigabytes of onboard memory. Now, what's cool is when you do purchase it, there's a special Google offer you can take advantage of, which is 100 gigabytes of Google Drive cloud storage for 2 years. So when you do purchase one now, I'm not sure how long that's going to run. Today is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, so 2013, so I don't know how long that's going to run, but just a heads up on that. 100 gigabytes of cloud storage, and basically that's a big way that the computer runs, is on cloud storage. So also we have the built-in 0.3 megapixel webcam, and also a built-in microphone as well. So that's just basic specs in terms of hardware. Let's jump right into the pros and cons. Now, I have to share this before we even start. This is the biggest pros and cons I've ever built. because there's so many things that had to be explored. Because again, you know, people are looking at this as, you know, possibly, you know, buying this as a computer or replacing a computer, and there's some things you need to know about it before you make that jump, because it doesn't do everything that a basic PC that runs Windows would do. Remember, it's not running Windows, it's running Chrome OS, which is totally different. It's, you know, not the same operating system, which means that everything is not compatible with it. So let's start from the top here. First pro is that it's going to be very light and portable. Again, super thin, and this is definitely great for travel. Definitely will be good for the student that just wants something light to take in class, to take notes, because it's just so light, it's so small. I didn't really go over the weight. I can pull that up for you, but basically it's very light, and that's what it'll definitely have over a standard computer. Is you know, you don't have this huge bulky battery on it. Again, it's just a super light computer. Kind of almost reminds me of a MacBook Air, just that it's made from more of a plastic than the aluminum that the Air is made of. Next, I was pleasantly surprised that it does play web videos very smooth. So, for example, I'll usually, it's a TV show I watch, which is called The Game, and normally I can't catch it when it comes on TV, so I'll go on BET's website and I'll watch it from home, and it actually runs the Adobe very well. I didn't really have to download anything special to run it, and you know, I can play these little clips right here, and it just plays smooth right out of the gate. Now, that may seem like a standard feature, but it's really not. In fact, for those of you that have tablets, when you try to run things like this from like the tablet browser, these normally don't run unless you have Adobe, you know, built in. And hold on, so that just shows you a little preview there. So the tablets, some of them have Adobe, but still some of them do struggle to play all the web videos that are out there right now. So the fact that this played that smooth was a big plus for me. So the person that likes to watch online TV, this is a great computer for that, because again, light, portable. As long as you have an internet connection, you can watch your shows online, and you know, that's just a great plus. So that's one thing I definitely wanted to highlight. Next pro is going to be the keyboard. is very comfortable for typing. We do have really good spacing. So again, very similar to the Mac keyboards, spacing, chiclet keys. I'm very big on the keyboard when I purchase a computer, because, you know, do a lot of typing, checking emails, different things like that. If the keyboard is not comfortable, it's going to be really frustrating when you do have to type something long and that's important. So great keyboard, that was a big plus. Another plus was that that the fact that it has the HDMI output on the back will allow you to mirror it to a computer screen. So you can actually put it up to your computer if you wanted to see it bigger. I didn't really get a chance to test out in terms of like if you were to plug it into a TV, you could use it as an external monitor, but I don't know if it would let you make this one screen and that one screen. That I didn't have a chance to test out, so that's something, you know, to look into. But the fact that it has the HDMI output means that it should have at least the capability to mirror whatever is on your screen on your TV screen. So plus there. Another big plus, it does run Netflix and Hulu very well. So if you go to Hulu.com, Hulu Plus, people always tell me it's different. But you can run Hulu or Hulu Plus as well as Netflix. You can go right to their website, and as long as you have an account, you can log in, you can run those videos nice, crisp, and smooth. So again, big plus, as hopefully you're probably seeing already, that this is more of an entertainment device, more of just a leisure, basic computer person that just likes to go online, social media, have fun, browse the web, check email. So that was kind of the gist I got from it, that it will do those type of things very well. Obviously, the price point is very reflective of that. Someone that's just a basic user. So anyway, we'll keep going. Flash drives as well as external hard drives do work. I do want to plug one in so you can actually see what it looks like when you plug one in. This is actually a 1 terabyte hard drive. And so when you plug it in, you give it a second, and then it will launch like the file manager. There it is. And so you can, go through your files. And I had a video in here that I played. So, if you have a flash drive or external hard drive that you have video on, you will be able to plug it in and, obviously have more storage. This was a football game from one of my cousins. So just showing you that it does run. And this is very important because if you're going to use this for school, if you need to use a flash drive to transfer documents, papers, whatever, you need to know that functionality is there to move your files on and off, aside from you being able to email them. So that was a big plus for me, the fact that they could do that, and you can transfer files from here to the computer as well. So external hard drives do work. Again, you're only getting 16 gigs of onboard storage, so as long as you have a hard drive with you, you're set. Okay? Alright, so let's keep on going here. Next, battery life was really good. From what I noticed, it was about 10 hours plus with really good standby time. So when you do close it, the computer does go to sleep. You don't have to worry about the battery super draining when you're not using it. Obviously, I was playing with it yesterday, and I kind of put it down because I had to take care of some other stuff, and I came back and the battery did drain a little bit, but it wasn't substantial. So you can let it sit when you're not using it, probably a couple of days, and you won't necessarily charge it every single day. So that was a big plus as well, the fact that it does do that. Next pro is going to be that it does not need antivirus software. So guess what? That $40 a year you normally pay on a PC is eliminated because it actually has built-in virus protection and multi-layers of security. As well as because this operating system is so new, it's not really targeted, whereas a PC dominates the market in terms of computers sold, and so the majority of viruses are for PCs. So you don't have to worry about that. That's one additional charge that you can kind of do away from having to worry about. So no antivirus needed. I did mention earlier that it does have built-in webcam and mic, and so you will be able to do like Google Hangout. So anyone else that has a Gmail account or Google Plus, you guys can actually log in and do a video chat, and you can actually do you can chat with multiple people, 4, 5, 6 people at a time using that webcam. So that also was a good plus. I read some forums online that there is a way to download Skype, but it does take a little bit of work. It's not more of an out-of-the-box thing, so that's why I'm not really including that, but I wanted to make it known that it is something that is available with a little work. Okay? Alright, so next thing here, you do also have the ability to run apps offline, and what that means is the concept of a Chromebook is meant to run, or it originally was meant to run directly from the internet. So really, not much is actually stored on the computer. That's why the hard drive is so small, only 16 gigs, because everything is web-based. Now, what they've done is they've actually expanded it. So now, let's see if I can find it. Now you can actually run a couple of things offline. Let me pull up that list here. Getting started. Also, there was some really good tools here to help you get started as well. Just seeing, learning about the computer. So you have Gmail offline. You have Google Docs, Google Calendar, Scrappad, which is like this little notepad for typing notes. You also can play movies as long as you have files downloaded, and there is a photo editor. So these are just 6 basic programs. Now you do have to download these. These do not come stock on the computer, so really you just click right on, right on the one you want to download. You download it, and then when the computer is offline, you can still access your Gmail. You can also write emails, and when you're connected again, it will send those out, as well as being able to edit your Google documents and also set your calendar. So that's a cool thing, because the lightness and portability of this device would make it great for like air travel. So if you wanted to go on a plane and use it, not all planes do have Wi-Fi, but you would be able to take this with you and still get some work done even though you're not connected with the internet. So again, the fact that they brought some things offline means that you can still use the computer even when you don't have an internet connection. Whereas PCs, obviously a lot of things are made to run without the internet, so you know, this is a little bit different. So anyway, offline programs, you can still use it even when it's not connected with the internet. Alright, next and last pro is great game selection. And let me show you what that means. Basically, the Chromebook does not run on programs. It runs on what are called web apps. And so you actually have this whole store of apps. This is actually a library of apps that Google's been building for years. So you have tons and tons of games you can download. Sonic right there. You can get Angry Birds as well, and that's awesome. In fact, I think I have it installed on this one. And you can also play Angry Birds offline. So this is also a cool thing for your kids. If you wanted to just stick it in front of them, they could play a little Angry Birds from the computer. Angry Birds Space. Look, they got the whole suite here. Angry Birds, not familiar with that one, but Angry Birds Space, Angry Birds Rio. I know they have the Star Wars Angry Birds as well. You got racing games, and a lot of these games are free, and that's what I like about it, is the fact that you can download so much fun stuff without having to pay a lot. Now, some of them are paid, a lot of them are free, and those are things you can download to use offline, obviously when the computer is not connected with the internet. So again, more emphasizing that it is an entertainment device that really is just for leisure. You know, it's not really a device you would get, or a laptop for like heavy work. It would be more just if you wanted to have a personal computer with just some of your basic information to be able to check your emails. I don't want to keep re-emphasizing the same point because we have more to go, but just kind of showing that it really is an entertainment type device. Let's jump over to the cons list. First con I noticed right off the back is that the speakers are not very loud and they can be a little muffling. Obviously it is a very light computer and the price is not that expensive, so obviously doesn't really have the best of the best. So speaker wise, you know, I watched a couple of videos, listened to a couple of songs, and rather mediocre, I would say, in terms of the sound. So don't expect too much. You do have 3.5 inch jack right here, so you can plug in your headphones and you would get better experience audio wise with that, so just keep that in mind. Next, which is kind of a downer, is you cannot install iTunes. Once again, iTunes obviously really is an Apple thing, but it's been made for PC, and so PC and Mac you can enjoy iTunes. If you have an iTunes library, all hope is not lost. As long as you still have access to that computer, you would go to music.google.com, I believe. Let me double check that website to make sure that's right. You can actually go to this website. Well, they may have changed it. It's actually play.google.com/music/listen. And with this, you actually can download a program on your Mac or your PC, which is the Download Music Manager. And what it will do is it'll take all your music and it'll actually put it in the Google Cloud. So then you can access it from your Chromebook and you can play all those songs from here. So although it's a con, you can't get iTunes, there is a system that is created that will allow you to get all that music off of your Mac or off your PC, or just to copy it. Again, all this does is just copies it into the cloud and you can play it from your Chromebook. As well as if you have a Google smartphone or a tablet. Google Music is really awesome. And, you know, with iTunes, you're limited because, let's say you do have an iPhone and you only have 16 gigs of storage. Well, you can only get so much of your music on that device. Whereas when you have Google Music, you log into the app. When you have an internet connection, you can play any song from your library, and then you can also pick songs that you want to store offline, so when you don't have an internet connection, you will have them stored. You're probably saying, oh, well, iTunes does the same thing on the iPhone, but it really doesn't, because any song that's not directly synced onto the iPhone, you'd have to actually go into iTunes, and then you have to pull up all your purchased music, okay? And so you could first do a purchase songs, and then from there you would actually have to pay for iTunes Music Match to really get all your music into the cloud. So this way, it's a lot simpler system that will actually take all your music that's purchased or burned, put it in the cloud, and you can access it from anywhere. So didn't mean to go too in depth with that, but just want to make the point that although you can get iTunes, you can still get that music on this computer. Next thing is you cannot install the Microsoft Office suite, so Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. However, instead you do have Google's own version of those programs. Okay, you have Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. So Google Docs is the equivalent of Word, Google Sheets is the equivalent of Excel, and Google Slides is the equivalent of PowerPoint. Now, what I want to point out in this is these versions are nowhere near the amount of features you get when you purchase, for example, the newest version of Office. Let's say you purchase Microsoft Word 2013, right? Now, there's so many more features that are built in. Now, I always kind of think of the Google Docs as like Office 2003 or 2005. You know, it's very dumbed down. You just have your basic row. It's almost like when you send an email out, you know, like those options you have for the email you have in this. So to me, I have to say it's a con. Although these programs do come on there and they're free, they lack a lot of features. So if you're used to using Word, Excel, and PowerPoint a lot, you're losing a lot of those features when you do get a Chromebook, because you can't get the Microsoft version and you just have to settle for what's on here. Now that could change in the future. They could upgrade it and make it basically add more features and allow it to do more, but for now it's very limited. So it's kind of a pro and a con. They come free, but they're simple, basic, don't have a lot of frills. Okay. Next thing here, and I've kind of already said it, but you cannot install any Windows-based programs. So any CD you have, where you have the print shop, or you may use the Adobe suite of Photoshop or whatever, any Windows-based program is not going to work on here. One, can't plug in a CD drive to install it. Okay. Two, I've tried to go online. As a test, I said, let me see if I could download Firefox. Can't do it, because those are only made for PCs, which is a Windows-based program. So you have to keep that in mind. You are limited to using Chrome as your only web browser. On my computer at home, I use Safari, I use Chrome, I use Firefox, I use Internet Explorer. I use all four of them because sometimes one is messing up, so I'll just jump to another one. Well, guess what? If Chrome is glitching for the day, you're stuck, because that's all you have on the Chromebook. So again, a lot of things to keep in mind, because again, you're dealing with a whole different operating system that's very limited. Even on a Mac, it does come with Safari, but you can get Firefox, you can get Internet Explorer, you can get Chrome, whereas this, you're limited. It's Chrome and that's it. Okay. That was kind of the next con as well, that you're limited to using Chrome as the web browser. Also, you can't install any Adobe-based programs. So again, in terms of creativity for running Photoshop or any of those type of programs, you can't run any of that on here. Any video editing. Once again, this is an entertainment-based device. Social media, social networking, your just basic email, web browsing. Really basics. Okay. At the end, I'll kind of share what the audience is that I feel would best benefit from this device. Next, no Ethernet port. It's Wi-Fi only. So if you're somewhere that there's not wireless internet, you have to plug up corded. You're kind of stuck. Now, some of you are saying, "Oh, well, everywhere has internet, has wireless. That would never be a problem." Not true. Some hotels still make you use a wired connection, and although places are slowly but surely adding Wi-Fi, everybody doesn't have it available to the public, so you just have to keep that in mind. And we kind of shared this earlier, but no functionality for external CD or DVD drive. So guess what? If you had a CD and you wanted to install it into the computer just so you could have it in your library, you cannot do that. Okay, so once again, I don't mean to keep beating the wheel on that, but that takes away a lot, because guess what? Maybe you have a CD or you have a DVD, you have a movie that you just want to watch on here. Can't do it. You would have to download from the Google Play Store, say through music. You can bring your music over with Google Music, or you can go on Google Play, which I'll show you what that looks like. That is play.google.com. And here you would be able to download music, as well as books, magazines, TV shows, etc. So that's how you would basically get movies on here or music. And again, the storage is limited to 16 gigs. You could, however, purchase a micro SD card, so you can store more on there. But for now, that's just what you're dealing with, the 16 gigs. So, man, I know that was a lot. This is probably one of the longest pros and cons videos I've done. I felt like I really needed to be thorough because a lot of people are considering buying these, and I just want to make sure that people understand what they're getting into. This is something different. It's something new, and it's a little before its time, so you just have to be aware of that, because at a point, I feel like these are going to flood the market and people will start buying them. But for now, there's really only a handful of models out. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 Chromebooks. There's this one, which is the Samsung, which retails for $249, as well as there is the Acer that is $199. The Acer is kind of weird. It's $199, but it actually has 500. What is it? I think it's 500 gigs or 200 gigs of internal storage, especially the hard drive. I didn't really understand why Samsung put such a small hard drive in it. You know, yeah, the Acer actually has a 320 gigabyte hard drive. I didn't really understand that. Why did they put such a small hard drive, only 16 gigs? So when you go to Samsung, you're actually getting less storage and you're paying more money. So I can only assume that the quality must be better. I was trying to get my hands on the Acer, and a lot of stores just did not have them in stock. I really wanted to kind of do a side-by-side on these, but I had to just kind of stick with the Samsung one, which, in my experience, Samsung does tend to have the better quality, better quality products in general. So you're not going to, be at a loss, but I do have to say the 320 gigs of storage on the Acer is very appealing, and I wouldn't judge anyone that says, hey, I'd rather go with that storage. They may be a little bit better build quality. So, all that being said, drum roll please. That was my whack drum roll. I would still give this a worth it. Now, let me preface that, okay? It's worth it to a certain audience, and what that audience is going to be is, again, I would say this would be a great laptop for preteens, okay? Especially if maybe this is their first computer, you want to get them something to do some basic schoolwork with. You do have, again, the Google Docs, the spreadsheets, and the slides, so they can build some basic PowerPoints. I probably wouldn't recommend it for the PowerPoint, but in terms of just typing up some basic homework, I would say it worked well with that. Facebook does run very nicely on here, as well as YouTube, which is 90% of teens are sitting on YouTube all day. So that's there. You have the flash drive functionality, so they can move files back and forth for schoolwork. As well as you do have the Netflix and you have the Hulu, so if they want to do the streaming for the videos and TV shows, you have that. I'd also say that the crowd this is worth it for is going to be for that adult that's a very basic computer user. I know a lot of adults that have these flashy computers and all they use it for is just checking email and going on Facebook. And if that's all you do, this would be so perfect. It's light, great keyboard for typing. Entertainment wise, you can view your online shows on there with ease. So those are the 2 audiences that I say this would be great for. Now, the people this will be a waste for are, 1, the people that are into heavy graphics, that have to do graphic editing, video editing, business. This is not a business computer, okay? So if you're doing a lot of editing with spreadsheets, I wouldn't trust using Google Docs or Google Sheets, spreadsheets with your work stuff, because because there's such of a slimmed down or stripped down version, there's features you're going to lose that you may need. So for the business user, this is not the computer. Now again, if you want just a basic personal computer, something to travel with, something to have fun with, even something to kind of share amongst family, that's great. So, but overall, I still want to give it a worth it, because when I was just online having fun, doing the Facebook stuff and the YouTube and the email, even like paying bills, like, it works great. It's a web-based computer. If you're always online and you're not necessarily worried about listening to a lot of music or whatever, this is a really good computer. Again, it's light, it's a great price. And again, for those teenagers that are just starting out, maybe you don't want to get them a $500 computer, $250 right here, or even get the Acer, $199, and you're giving them a jump start and just to the basics, not giving them too much. Guess what? You don't have to pay the extra money in terms of antivirus. You're saving money there. So overall, I give it a worth it. After really giving it an extensive look, because when I first got it, I played with it a little bit, but I didn't really give it a lot of time. And so I just really had to sit and really say, all right, today I'm going to use this as my only computer and really see what the experience will be like. And it wasn't bad. You know, again, I got to check some email. I did the Facebook. I shopped online for a couple of stuff. I was on Amazon. I paid a couple of bills. And everything ran smooth. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I know it was very long. I hate to make videos that are 30 minutes because everybody has a life, you have things to do, and I don't want you to be sitting there for an hour trying to figure out what I'm talking about. But I hope that this was thorough and in-depth and it was helpful so that you guys are able to make an informed decision of if you want to get one. Now keep in mind, most retail stores will give you at least a 14-day return policy, so you can actually buy it, try it, see if you like it, and if you don't, return it and don't feel bad. Okay, I return stuff all the time because I want to get the right product, and I don't want to feel like I have to keep it because I don't like it or whatever, or because I don't want them to be mad at me because I'm returning it. Don't worry about that. If you feel like after all that I've explained that you want to try one out, I say go and buy it and give it a good test drive, and you probably are going to see that you're going to like it more than you think. Okay? Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video if you did find it helpful. Subscribe to H2TechVideos. Check out our new website, H2TechVideos.com. We've kind of made it over and revamped it to make it look nicer, more user-friendly. And I'd love to hear what you think about the review on the Chromebook. Alright? Take care and have a good one.